Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about a lot of what we have been talking about in the last few videos, and that does include more severe weather. That does include threats of severe weather today and tomorrow, and we also will be taking a look at the thunderstorm forecast, which will be around where we'll be looking at future severe weather. So make sure to stay tuned till the end, and also don't forget to click that subscribe button and as well as that like button. And I do appreciate you guys liking my last videos. That was very nice of you. So let's go ahead and look at today's threat. So as you can see, for today we do have a slight risk level 2 out of 5 threat for severe thunderstorms across the deep south and as well as the southern plains. So places like Oklahoma, back into southwest Missouri, back into almost all of Arkansas, back into western Mississippi, northern half of Louisiana, but also a pretty good portion there of northern Texas, and as well as eastern Texas is included in that slight risk level 2 out of 5 threat for severe thunderstorms today. And this does include Dallas, Shreveport, Jackson, Memphis, getting up there towards Little Rock, also Springfield, but also to Tulsa and even into Oklahoma City will be included in the slight risk of severe weather today, which is the highest threat on the map, so please be weather aware. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a few more things, okay? For the tornado threat, as you can see, we do have a 5% risk for tornadoes across southern Oklahoma back into northern Texas, so it's pretty much north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but east of Amarillo. So if you do live in that region, make sure to have your tornado action plan in place just in case. So make sure to, be weather aware about that. And even if you live in this 2%, please do the same thing too as well, because sometimes we can get those brief spin up tornadoes across the screen color too as well, which, like I said in the last video, it's just marginal. But even though it's marginal, we could still see a few brief spin up tornadoes. So like I said, even if you live in this green color, make sure to be weather aware and also have your tornado action plan in place just in case. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the wind threat for today. And as you can see, wind threat for today, we do have a 15% risk for damaging winds. The good news is that we don't have a hatched risk, so chances of hurricane force winds are pretty low, but still expect some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds at times today with some of the storms, and that will definitely be one of the main threats for today. So also make sure you are securing your objects too as well, because even if winds do not get up to hurricane force, we could still be talking about some isolated minor to moderate damage in some areas. So like I said, make sure you are securing your objects, because we could certainly see tornadoes and as well as damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and look at the hail threat. Hail threat looks to be a little bit concerning farther east, and as you can see, we do have a 15% risk for large hail pretty much in this yellow color, heading from the Dallas-Fort Worth area all the way up here to the panhandle of Texas and as well as southwest Oklahoma. But if you do live in this black outlined area, which doesn't include the entire slight risk, but does include some of the 15% risk for large hail. So if you do live in this black outlined area, I'll go ahead and circle it so you guys know what it is. So if you do live in this black outlined area right here, make sure to pull your cars into your garage, because I do think we will be talking 1 to as much as 5 inches in diameter hail today in some areas. So 5-inch hail could definitely be a possibility today, and like I said, that's because of the hatched risk, where we could be talking greater than 2-inch hail in some areas. So if you do live in this hatch risk area, which is pretty much this black outlined area that I just circled, make sure to pull your cars into your garage, because I do think we could see hail as big as 4 to 5 inches in diameter in some areas, which may or may not happen, but it is certainly a possibility. So that's why I do want you guys to pull your cars into your garage just in case. So make sure to do that today before the severe weather does start to ramp up. Now let's go ahead and talk about today's threat still, but we're going to move a little bit farther to the north. So as you can see, not only did we talk about the slight risk down here for today, but we also have another slight risk up here to the north across southern Wisconsin back into northern Illinois, but also extreme eastern Iowa will be included in another level 2 out of 5 threat for severe thunderstorms for today. So if you do live in the slight risk up here to the north, which is pretty small, but if you do live in this area, make sure to be weather aware today, and we will be going over the hazards in just a second. Let's go ahead and look at the tornado threat in that area, and as you can see, it's just a 2% risk for tornadoes, so it's not as concerning as down there to the south, but still make sure you do have your tornado action plan in place just in case if you do live in this 2% risk for tornadoes, because like I said, even though it's marginal, we could still see some brief spin up tornadoes in some areas, and sometimes they do turn out to be strong. So make sure to have your tornado action plan in place just in case today if you do live in southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, or extreme eastern Iowa, pretty much on that tip. And for the wind threat for today across southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, we do have a 15% risk for damaging winds today, which is the same down here to the south. So like I said, hurricane force winds, or the probability of hurricane force winds are pretty low, but I do still think 60 to 70 mile per hour winds will still be possible. So if you do, live in the slight risk area up here to the north too as well, which is southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and extreme eastern Iowa, also make sure you are securing your objects too as well, because like I said, 70 mile per hour winds can certainly blow over things, causing minor to moderate damage. Let's go ahead and look at the hail threat up here to the north, and as you can see, it's just a 15% risk for large hail. Hail is a little bit concerning down here to the south, but not as concerning up here to the north, and that's because we don't have this hatched risk, so chances of 2-inch hail is pretty low by this point up here to the north, but 1 to 2-inch hail will certainly be possible if you do live in southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, or extreme eastern Iowa. So that was pretty much today's outlook. We did talk about that for quite a bit, so like I said, make sure you do have all those things in place for today, because like I said, I do think we will be seeing some severe weather across both slight risk areas. But let's also go ahead and talk about the flash flood potential. Okay, that is today's threat. Okay, we do certainly have 2 areas that could see flash flooding. This actually includes both slight risk. We got one up here to the north across southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, back into eastern Iowa, and then we got another one down here towards not all of the slight risk, but still some of it, which does include southern Missouri, southeast Kansas, western Oklahoma, including Oklahoma City, back into northeast Kansas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area, back into all of Arkansas, western Mississippi, and as well as northern Louisiana will be included in a threat for flash flooding today. So if you do live in one of these yellow colors, make sure you do have ways to receive flash flood alerts, because I do certainly think we could be seeing 4 inches of rainfall in some areas if we do see training storms over the same areas, which by this point I don't know if that's a likely threat or not, but like I said, it is a possibility. So make sure to have ways to receive flash flood alerts if you do live in one of these yellow colors. Let's go ahead and look at tomorrow's threat, and as you can see, we do have a slight risk of flash flooding heading from the Canada border in northern Minnesota all the way down into the northeast part of Oklahoma. So certainly a very big area to watch for flash flooding too as well, and we kind of do have this extension out towards the east, but we're mainly concerned about this yellow area. So if you do live in this yellow area for tomorrow, which will be from Tuesday into Wednesday, which like I said will be tomorrow, make sure you do have ways to see flash flood alerts as we do head into tomorrow. Now let's go ahead and look at day 3, and as you can see, the flash flood threat is just marginal as of right now, but I do think we will see a slight risk get added to that pretty much somewhere in embedded in here, so this could, look like this if they do add a slight risk for flash flooding somewhere in this area. But as of right now, it's just marginal as we do head into Wednesday, which is good news as of right now. But like I said, I do still think they will add a slight risk somewhere in here, especially because the area is really big. So certainly going to be something to watch for as we do head into Wednesday. And then as we do head into Thursday, all that activity is likely to shift off to the north and east, with just some isolated showers and storms. So nothing, as concerning as what we did see across the Midwest. But certainly going to be something to watch for as we also head into Thursday, which like I said will mainly be across New England. And then day 5, as you can see, we will start to see all that, go back towards the plains and likely continue through the Ohio Valley again. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Climate Prediction Center outlook, and it's still the same as it was yesterday, and that's because the Climate Prediction Center has not made any updates yet. Their next update will be at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, so we will need to wait till later to see the new Climate Prediction Center update, but it's still the same from yesterday. So if you haven't seen this yet, I'll go ahead and show you it. And as you can see, from now all from June 8th all the way to June 12th, which was the same as yesterday, like I said, we will be seeing below average temperatures across the east. We will be seeing above average out towards the west, and we also will be seeing above average towards the southern United States. So certainly looking quite concerning, and we do see some very dark blues and even some very dark reds, even starting to get that maroon color shading showing up. So I do think we will be talking some well above average temperatures in some areas. There's pretty much an 80 to 90% chance of above average temperatures in that area, as you can see. But even over here to the east, we also do have a high chance of below average temperatures. There's a 60 to 70% chance, and I probably should have told you guys this in the last video, but like I said, the darker the color, the higher the chance of above or below average temperatures. So if you do live in one of these darker colors, either be aware for well above average temperatures or well below average temperatures. 8 to 14 day outlook, which is pretty much from June 10th all the way to June 16th, we do certainly likely will see below average temperatures across the east. We will be seeing quite well above out to the west, and we also will be seeing pretty well above down here towards the south. So certainly some areas that we still need to be looking at. And now if we look at the precipitation, which is also the same as yesterday, like I said, the Climate Prediction Center has not made an update yet, but this is pretty much from June 8th all the way to June 12th, and we can still expect some pretty well above average precipitation out to the west. We can expect, some slightly below average precipitation pretty much up to the north, heading down into portions here of the Midwest. We even got another area down here towards the south that could see below average, but even up here towards New England could also see above average precipitation too as well. Now for the 8 to 14 day outlook on the precipitation, that is pretty much from June 10th all the way to June 16th. As you can see, we do see above average precipitation continuing out to the west. We see some areas still staying slightly dry up here to the north, but we still see, some above average precipitation over here across the east coast too as well. So certainly something to keep an eye on. So let's go ahead and look at your rainfall totals now, and as you can see, we do certainly are seeing some above average precipitation across the central plains heading into the deep south, and as well as the Arklatex region. And as you can see, some of the things did change quite a bit. It doesn't look like there's going to be as much rain in the Ohio Valley as what was shown yesterday, but that is pretty much from now all the way to June 13th. So a little bit of a different time period. So some of that rainfall that was shown on the European model yesterday probably, counted as some of it in the Ohio Valley, so that's probably why it's not showing as much anymore. But I do still think, some things will change as we do head in throughout the month of June, because like I said, this is quite far out, so expect some things to change as we do get closer. But the main areas we are going to be watching for is this area right here, and this is a different area, like I said, because things have changed since yesterday. But I do still think we will be seeing above average precipitation across this area, but we're mainly focusing on the Arklatex region right here for the most precipitation as we do head into June 13th. So in between now and June 13th will be the time period to watch for above average precipitation in this area right here. But even over here towards the east coast, especially New England, we could be talking some pretty good rainfall totals of around 4 inches in some areas too as well, which will be something to keep an eye on. Now let's go ahead and look at the thunderstorm outlook. We haven't took a look at this in the last video or two either, but I did find this, so I thought I would show you guys this, and this is pretty much where you can expect thunderstorms. So pretty much right now there might be some thunderstorms ongoing in Iowa, and pretty much these wider colors can indicate some large hail. So it does look like there could be a few severe thunderstorms ongoing in parts of Arkansas and as well as up here towards the north, but that's not always, the case, at least as of right now. So like I said, there could still be some severe storms ongoing, but there also may not. So certainly going to be, something to watch for today as we continue to head closer. But as we continue to take this forward, lots of that is likely to shift off towards the Ohio Valley, but still likely to continue with chances for large hail across the plains. And as we continue to take this forward, as you can see, lots of that still likely to continue through the plains and even move towards the Ohio Valley too as well, as you can see, with some pretty hefty thunderstorms mainly across the lower Ohio Valley. So if we continue to take this forward, we will likely be seeing a lot of that shift off to the east as we do head into Thursday on June the 6th. And as we continue to take this forward, New England likely to see some isolated to scarce thunderstorms in some areas as we do head into Thursday, June 6th. Like I said, there's just a different time on June 6th, but as we continue to take this forward, as you can see, things do die down quite a bit, but then start to ramp right back up as we continue to take this forward. So as you can see, lots of thunderstorms still likely during the plains as we do head into the weekend. And as we continue to take this forward, we will likely see a lot of that still trying to shift off towards the deep south, and some of these may even make it to the Ohio Valley too as well. So still gonna be something to keep an eye on as we do get closer, but we actually are a little bit far out from now, so things do remain a little bit uncertain by this point. But I still do think this will be something to keep an eye on as we do head closer. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the supercell composite. It's still pretty similar like yesterday, but we actually do have some areas showing a little bit higher amounts of supercell composites across the plains, which does make sense because we did have this slight risk across that area too as well. So certainly going to be a day to watch for, and as we continue to take this forward, we will likely see some of that shift off towards the Ohio Valley as we do head into Wednesday, which will be after tomorrow. So nothing as crazy as what the plains are going to see, but a marginal slight risk will still be possible as we head into Wednesday. And as that thing finally heads out, we will maybe see even another storm move into the plains. And look at this one. This one likely is going to continue through the Midwest and even into parts of the Ohio Valley. So that is definitely going to be one of the bigger storms to watch for as we do head into June 11th. But as we continue to take this forward, as you can see, things do start to remain quite uncertain by this point, even up here towards the north. So even though the GFS model is showing some severe weather events as we do head into June 19th, like I said, it is really far out, so do expect things to change as we do head closer. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys are gonna have a great day. Like I said earlier, I do appreciate you guys liking my last two videos, because that was certainly very nice of you guys. But also continue to subscribe, and also like my videos if you haven't already. So make sure to subscribe especially, but also like my videos if you haven't already. So make sure to do that, and we will certainly continue to do more weather updates. Thank you.